Hi, Internet! I'm me, and this is two reviews separately put together. Honestly, because I've missed 3 episodes in a row, I'm not going to be doing this all on one video. I will have a video separate for Super Sentai and separate for Kamen Rider. So this is going to be the Kamen Rider one, because it's the one I most remember. And that's not a bad thing, it's just because different reasons in my mind. Don't worry about it. I'll explain. Kamen Rider Wizard. Now, the last 3 episodes have been pretty good. And honestly, the reason that I've picked these, I've actually kind of said I wanted to do these three. I wanted to keep going for Kamen Rider Wizard to the fourth, but where it's ended right now is pretty good to come back and just like start it up. I was going to go for like all four and just go cover them all because they're all two-parters. But, but, this is a good timing. So, last two Kamen Rider episodes before this week. We had the Gnome Phantom. The Gnome Phantom came in trying to kill well, not kill, but trying to make a Gate who was a con artist to despair and give up crap. Now, the con artist was actually conning almost every male character in the show. Okay, every male character in the show. Even Kamen Rider Wizard, even though he wouldn't admit it. So, she, of course, was denying help from Kamen Rider Wizard, denying help from a detective, because, she's a con artist. Um, in the first episode, she's first introduced, she's conning somebody in a park, who's another male character who has been introduced for this episode, for these 2 episodes, and he does play a huge role, even though he has very little screen time, or a very fair amount of screen time. Anyway, you almost forget he's there. That's pretty much all I'm saying. So he's in the park with her, getting scammed, of course, and the gnome comes into attack. The scam artist helps the guy get out of there, and then Kamen Rider Wizard comes, kicks his ass, but the scam artist runs away. And of course, she starts scamming everybody else, including the donut people, the old man in the antique shop. Like everybody gets scammed, and even poor Ikari Guy. I keep calling him Ikari Guy from Gokaiger because he looks like Ikari Guy, or he acts like him and he dresses like him with the socks and shit. Like he just reminds me of him. So I'm just gonna keep calling him Ikari Guy too. I'll learn his name eventually. But so after all that, after they get scammed, they finally realize they've been scammed at the end of the episode when all of them converge together and figure out, oh crap, we've all been scammed. When they all converge together on her, but it's a scam. Oh no! And of course she's realized. Then the gnome attacks again, trying to get her to despair again. Kamen Rider Wizard again kicks the gnome's ass, which the fight scenes are actually really good, and I really like the way they've done the Earth style fighting style, which usually would involve a lot of fist, but because of the huge hulking rings on Kamen Rider Wizard's hands, you really can't do that. So they got around it pretty well with a lot of Aikido and Hapkido moves to show strength, which is kind of ironic because Aikido is about using like no strength, but it's kind of showing how solid the form is by having like pulling somebody close and then just like clotheslining them because you're a solid form and like when they run into it they're gonna get hurt. So I thought that was pretty interesting and pretty cool for a concept on fighting styles when you can't use your fist in your Earth style. Anywho, after the fight, the gnome goes away. And of course, because the con artist is a con artist, she runs away too. So, next episode is them hunting down the con artist. So, they come around and actually, with actual detective work, go to her home. Of course, the gnome has already been there. And I have one thing to say about the gnome. He's not incompetent, but I have a question about Japan. What is with you people in thinking people wearing suits with ascots are evil? Okay? Because the gnome's human form dresses exactly like the Sagittarius human form in Kamen Rider Force. It's like all people who wear ascots and suits are evil? God damn. I just thought that was hilarious. I was just like, I'm seeing a pattern. But anyway, The gnome has been trying to get this woman to despair this whole time, going to her home, going everywhere. Like he tried to make her despair by breaking up the scam. He tried to make her despair by breaking a family photo because it seems like her family is really important. So he breaks the photo. Still nothing. So it turns out that the reason she doesn't really despair about a scam being broken or her family photo being broken is because she actually is holding out hope to buy a house. And not just any house, her old family house. Because she used to be rich and used to live in this really nice home. But when they got scammed, her parents got scammed out of their money and got the house taken away. And after the house was taken away, her family disbanded and dissolved. So she is trying to return back to the house as a last ditch of hope for closure, for returning back to that lifestyle that she was so used to, that happiness as a little girl, which again well rounds this character out. So she's not just a scam artist, and she's actually a pretty good person at heart. Again, saving the guy in the park when she really didn't need to. She's a scam artist. She just needs the money. She doesn't need you. So when she does that, she shows a lot of actual redemption, or really just well-roundedness as a character and as a human being, which, you wouldn't expect that from a kid's show. But again, this character was very well-rounded. I really liked that. I really liked how when she runs away, it does seem like real Japan. It doesn't. It's crowded. It's filled with lights. It's crowded. It's a bit danky, but it's still Japan. It looks nice, but it's not nice. It's like how movies portray New York and then what real New York looks like. Same thing here. Usually in Super Sentai or Kamen Rider, Japan is very brightly lit, very clean. And don't get me wrong, in Kamen Rider Wizard, it's still fairly clean. But in that moment where they showed the scam artist running away and hiding out in Japan for a minute, it really looked like Japan. And I thought that really grounded the episode and showed where this character is coming from in a more of a character sense than an actual dialogue and saying where she's coming from. Now, of course, the gnome figures out, oh, it's the house, and decides to burn it. And of course, Kamen Rider Wizard comes and gets into his water form and extinguishes the fire. Now, with smoke damage and water damage added to the house, and it needing to be renovated completely, she's okay though. And of course, Kamen Rider Wizard kicks the gnome's ass like it's nothing. And then the guy she was scamming at the beginning of the episode, or beginning of the first episode, comes back, who is rich. Sorry, didn't clarify that. He's rich. Comes back and says he is buying the house, even though it's about to be renovated and torn down if no one buys it. So he's going to buy the house to keep it safe so that she can come back at one point or another and actually buy the house. And honestly, I really like this. It takes the hope giving away from Kamen Rider Wizard. And I know that's not the point of the show. The point of the show is to show a Kamen Rider as a beacon of hope. But him always having everybody cling to him for hope is kind of Mary Sue-ish, to where it's like, oh, he's completely perfect and everything. And I'm actually about to get into that with the next episode, but this was a very nice ending. I really liked it. It takes away the hope giving from Kamen Rider Wizard, kinda. Kamen Rider Wizard gave her hope by extinguishing the fire and keeping the house safe for that moment. But the hope extended by having another character actually buy it for her and go, if you have the money, come back here and it's all yours. But I'm keeping it safe for you. Giving her hope to keep going in life, to make the money and get the house, which I thought was really nice and really actually quite touching. I give both of these episodes a good 8 out of 10. Well, actually, I give the first one an 8 out of 10. I give the second one a 9 out of 10, mostly because of the human and grounding elements of the episode. The fight scenes were really good and creative, though, again, Kamen Rider Wizard really isn't being challenged. He's just whooping ass and taking names. But that all changes in the next episode. Now, the next episode, Medusa sends a bunch of ghouls after a child who is a negate. But, of course, because they're ghouls, they actually do shit nothing. So, Kamen Rider Wizard comes in and kicks their asses, takes their names, and of course the kid thinks he's being kidnapped. So, the Ikari guy too gets his balls kicked, Kamen Rider Wizard gets his balls kicked, and of course, because of a weird misunderstanding, the police officer gets arrested. And of course, at the station, the kid is brought in, and it turns out the kid's mom is a nurse who knew Kamen Rider Wizard as a child. Because when he was a kid, his parents had died in a car accident. And at their last dying breaths on the hospital bed, seeing that he was okay, they were actually holding out only hope that he was okay, like true parents. They may be damaged and bruised up, but they're really worrying about their child. Again, well-rounded characterness from other characters, and I actually really like that. They're not, unlike Kamen Rider Wizard, or Kamen Rider Forza, not Wizard, they are not one-dimensional slates. These characters actually are well-rounded. They are parents. They are real parents. They may be arguing with him one point and then like going, "Oh my God, you're okay. Oh thank God." Like the next, and so that was really good for me, and especially since the gate thinks that his mom doesn't give a crap about him. The dad doesn't give a crap about him, but as Kamen Rider Wizard explains to the nurse that you know all this stuff about gates and ghouls and phantoms and he's a wizard and all. The child has decided to stay with Kamen Rider Wizard for protection instead of Kamen Rider Wizard going back home with him and his mom. So Kamen Rider Wizard takes the child into the antique store where the child pretty much humiliates Ikari guy to I keep calling him that. I'll remember I'll find out his name soon enough. Don't worry. But of course he falls asleep and the boy actually does feel real, genuine homesickness because he's never been really away from home. And Kamen Rider was like, "Why did you lie?" And then we figure out that the dad really is working a lot and doesn't really pay attention. And because of that, and because they really don't listen to him, it doesn't seem like the parents are listening to him. He really doesn't think the parents care. And of course, because Kamen Rider Wizard knows his mom, he's been getting constant text from his mom asking about is he okay? Is he okay? Is he okay? And again, real parents. because and explains to the boy that his mom sent him with a complete stranger, even though she knows him, because she really does care for his safety and knows that Kamen Rider Wizard will keep him safe. In the meanwhile, back with the Phantoms, Medusa and the Phoenix Phantom have been talking, and the Phoenix Phantom actually wants to go out and start just going on a rampage and take on Kamen Rider Wizard himself because he's kind of sick of watching everybody fail. So, the next day, after Kamen Rider Wizard and the kid have a talk, the Phantom actually attacks the mom, which I think she's dead. I'm not sure. Um, it might be an on-screen death of a character. Who knows? I saw like in the preview, I think she goes to the hospital, so she might not be dead, but who knows? And of course, the kid is worried. And for one time, the first time ever in the show, Kamen Rider Wizard gets his ass kicked hard, with Phoenix having this huge ass fucking claymore of a sword and fire magic that over escapes whatever Kamen Rider Wizard can just like put out. And pretty much Kamen Rider Wizard just doesn't stand a chance. And of course, a new magical gym, this was back near the first episode, the first part of the episode, a new magical gym has ended up in the antique store. If you can, guess, you know that Kamen Rider Wizard is going to get a new power up, and then kick the Phoenix Phantom's ass. But for now, I'm just gonna say this was a really good episode. Seeing Kamen Rider Wizard get taken down a peg actually shows him fearing a phantom for once. And even though that was like, whoa, I still actually really like the fight scenes, and this episode actually rang very true. So I'm just gonna pretty much say I liked it. It's a good 8.5 out of 10. Not perfect, but not bad. It's not great, though. So, until next time, y'all. Peace. Oh, and if you're going to go for the Super Sentai, I'll have that up in a minute. Peace.